Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. Romans and I are both money guys, but we're also gamers, so we wanted to put this pod together to help gamers like us with some of their tough money topics that can sometimes feel as hard as a Souls boss.
We're talking budgeting, saving, paying off debt, and how to not fall for all the traps life throws at you.
Grab a health potion and let's start stacking gold IRL. This is DLC, a finance podcast for gamers. Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. I'm Scruffy, this is Romans, and we are going to be continuing the live and in-person recording.
Yes, the way podcasts are meant to be. Two bros outside in the cool Florida weather.
Yes, actually shockingly cool. I was expecting to be dying out here, but it's not too bad.
So. Yeah, could be. We'll do this in August.
No, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, that's definitely not my idea of a good time, but... Yeah, today we are going to be getting into something I'm really excited about, is the ultimate OP financial plan. So if you are out there, you're 18 to 25 years old, we are going to lay out exactly what you should do to be able to be financially successful and reach your financial goals.
Yeah, I looked at the show notes, and to be honest with you, I don't know how today's episode is going to go, so I'm glad he's excited because I think it is a lot of information. I hope as you listen to this episode, you have a note taker, or maybe use Granola AI. You need some kind of way to record and synthesize it and apply it to your life, because I think today's episode is very, very effective to use if you can keep up. If you can keep up.
We're going to be touching a lot of different topics. But if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be making sure to monitor this video. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, DM me on Discord, pop them in the LootStat chat, on the Reach Discord. I am available to answer questions, but I wanted to really do this to kind of just give the person who's out there who's like, where do I start? What do I do? I wanted to give you guys some straight up facts, no fluff, this is what you should do if you want to be able to hit your goals.
Pretty cool.
So, yeah, first thing I want to start with is just kind of the framework of where we're at. When you are at level 1, like I said, 18 to 25, one of the things you have to recognize is you have some limited assets. You don't have a lot of money. You don't have all the time in the world, and you have limited energy. So you need to be very intentional moving forward. If you want to get to the point where you have a successful career, whether it be streaming, IRL, otherwise, you need to be very intentional with what you're doing to be able to accomplish that, because where you're at now, you have the most time, you have the most energy that you're going to have for the rest of your life. So if you are very intentional right now to actually put in the work and set yourself up for in the future, you'll really be able to pay off big time.
I think it's something I can say now in my 40s. You can actually outwork me. I honestly think I'm 30 to 40% nerfed as to what I was at 18 to 25.
Yeah.
As far as my ability to work from 8 to 2 a.m. back to back for as many days, I can literally do that once, maybe lucky twice a week, and I will fall apart.
I was driving up here today, and I get a text from Romans. He's like, hey, just let me know when you can be here. I'm going to be taking a nap.
And you got here early.
I got here early. And he said, hey, just so you know, I'll be on nap. I'm like, okay, by the way, I'm going to be 20 minutes early.
Oh, I needed an extra 20 minutes. I needed it. Yeah, I never napped. I hated naps. In fact, if you nap, well, maybe you nap. If I napped at the age range of 18 to 25, it's because I was grounded, or I was punished. You was punished. Now, instead of this podcast, I wish I was taking a nap.
It's funny because I remember being in college and people are like, oh, you have the most time you're ever going to have in the rest of your life. I'm like, these people are lying. This isn't true at all. And then I started working on my business, and I'm like, oh, no, they were 100% telling the truth. I have, no time to do stuff. So use that time wisely. If you, especially if you're not married, man, you are in a very unique position where you can set yourself and your future spouse up for a ton of success if you are intentional now. And our goal is, your goal is going to be, you want to maximize, you want to maximize your money, not just for you, but for your future family, for your future giving. Like, I'm a financial advisor. So when I meet with my clients, the most fun I ever have with my clients is figuring out how we're going to give away a ton of money and like things that we can do to really make an impact for the kingdom, for causes, for people's hearts. And the people that have done this very successfully are people that when they were young, they took some time, were intentional, and now that they're older, they can really be a blessing to their family, to their friends, to their communities, and make a huge impact beyond what they ever thought they could have when they were in their teens and 20s.
If you happen to be super wealthy and would like to support Reach Conference, maybe you should support Reach Conference, where we're reaching gamers across the world.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of him telling them to help the homeless or the shoeless or the waterless, tell them to help the Jesusless. Yeah, I'm sure you're talking about Reach when it's appropriate, but as you're talking, like, wait a minute, I could think of a good ministry to support. Anyways,
Yeah. So to get started, I wanted to talk about like the 3 basic like starter classes. So I think for different people, there's different benefits and cons to what I think is like 3 major career paths. You have your trades, which I think not enough people are in. You have your like degree business people, and then you have the creator. And there's different advantages to all 3 of those, but they all fit different personality types. And this is something like I was very thankful for because my parents were very intentional. I was homeschooled, and my mom and my dad both were very intentional about like thinking about, okay, what is it that I have been created to do? What is like the skill sets that God has given me, and how I'm being equipped to actually be able to have a career. Ultimately, it was in finance. I wasn't sure about that really until I was in college, actually. But I knew that when I started going to college, I wasn't just going to be like, okay, time to figure out what I was going to do. Like, I was very intentional. I'm like, I'm going to college to get a finance degree because I want to do something in finance. Didn't know that was going to be financial advising, but this is where I'm at today. I think for if you're a streamer out there, like, you have to recognize that it's going to be a ton more work. If you are an entrepreneur, creative type of person, like on the front end, you are looking at a ton of work. I mean, you know this, you've built several companies.
Yeah, well, we were just talking this week, this Tuesday, at the feedback chat. You were listening to that, or you're part of it. That when you're a first-time streamer, you're doing 5 jobs all by yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of folks go, oh, all I need to do is stream and be funny. But there's like 3 other jobs that have nothing to do with being live on air, but have everything to do with building that following and community and to feed all the different algorithms that you need to feed depending on your content, but most folks it's the same. And so if you think all you have to do to make it streamer is to hit the go live button and talk on the internet, you're only doing like half the job, which is pretty crazy. You're like, only half the job, yet the other half has to be done. And a lot of folks don't do it. They only do the streaming part. I'm going to stream 40 hours this week. I'm like, ooh, where's the time left? And you probably have a job or you're doing other stuff. Like you're doing half your streaming job and the other half you're not doing. So.
Yeah. But it takes intentionality because like no matter what class you end up deciding with, like you need to pick something that you're actually going to enjoy and you're going to be willing to put in the work. Because if you're in the trades, man, that is a lot of manual labor, and you have to enjoy it because if you don't, you're going to get burnt out really, really fast. Same with like if you're going into, higher education, like if you are going to college for something that you may never use, you're talking about a waste of tens of thousands of dollars and potentially debt on top of that. So not only are you, if you're not intentional about it, not only are you starting at 0, you're actually starting negative because you have all this debt to take on. So it requires you to be very intentional to find something that you're passionate about. You can see yourself doing something in this field, in this profession for the next, 30, 40 years.
So for the sake of this episode, what are the classes that you were describing?
You have the trades, which is going to be something like going into like electricians, plumbing, things like that. You have things that require degrees, like the higher ed type of things. So if you're going into business,
Doctor?
doctor, oh my, yeah, doctor, lawyer, things like that, which is going to be much slower start, but you potentially have some higher income capacity. And then some sort of creator or entrepreneur, which is going to be super high risk, but super high upside. The trades, a lot of times you don't even need to go to college, so you get to start way faster than everyone else. But you're potentially capped on like what you ultimately can grow to. Sometimes not though. Like I know some plumbers that are making extremely good money because they're doing a job that no one else wants to do and that they love, so they can make a lot of money doing it.
Different trades make different money because I
Yeah.
have a friend who does glass, and they make a ton of money doing glass. But they have another buddy who paints, and the problem with painting is you need a big crew to get the big jobs.
Yeah.
If you're painting a 5-story plus building, it can't just be you and a paintbrush. So painting is one of those where you can get stuck doing residential, which you can make between $2,000 to $5,000, or you could do the commercial job and you're making $250,000 painting entire condo buildings. But big jobs means big crew, big toys. But I do think for the most part, whatever, if you do choose the trade route, so everything you're talking about reminds me of the game of life.
Yeah.
And I hated going to college in the game of life. I don't know if they set it up that way, but anytime I went to college in the game of life, someone else would skip college and throw a lucky throw, and they would steal my career, or they would choose a career that paid more. Like they'd go the entertainer route
Yeah.
or something. I'm like, I want the doctor route. And then there's like, it's a board game, so whatever happens. But someone get a board game. I remember once I went to college in that game, became a doctor, got the 100-something thousand thing, and then someone drew some kind of card where they stole my salary or something like that. I'm like, what the heck? I'm a $20,000 doctor? What country is this? This is the U.S. There are some countries where you get paid 20,000 USD to be after going to school for 10 years.
Yeah.
You make 20,000 US being a doctor, and that is tough. But you have to answer your calling. There are people who are called to do that.
Yeah.
I forgot who I was talking to that a Beverly Hills facial doctor gave up everything to help kids with the cleft palate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so he donates all his time to do surgery on kids who can't smile, because I forget what caused that when they're born, but
Yeah.
half the front of their face is missing. So there are angels out there who step down from the $1 million Beverly Hills plastic surgery to go. But you have to be called to that. Most folks are not.
And if you can't actually do that if you're not intentional. Like if that doctor who went and did that, like didn't actually save money and wasn't intentional, like on the early side, and we're gonna get into like income management and stuff, budgeting, stuff like that. But like if you don't do that when you're early on, you can't do those things in the future. Like one of the things that I talk about with my clients all the time is retirement isn't so you can sit at home and do nothing. Retirement and having money saved up is so that you can have the money to do whatever that next thing God's called you to do. Like retirement, sitting at home working and not working at all, doing nothing sounds incredibly boring to me. Like I'm never going to retire and just sit at home and twiddle my thumbs or play video games all day. Like I want to work. I want to do something productive, but I want to be able to have the money to be able to, whatever that next thing God calls me to do is, if it's something I'm not going to make any money doing at all, I want to be able to do that thing.
30-second Bible lesson. God put us to work even in heaven, in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
God put us to work in the fields. It's only through sin that work became hard.
Yeah.
It was. So yeah, to your point, we should be working because it's God ordained, and it's literally the first thing God did to us once we existed.
Yeah.
He didn't even give us safety equipment. Can you imagine swinging a thing with no clothes on? Like that's dangerous.
Yeah, we didn't need to. It wasn't any hard.
I'm gonna hit your toe. Have you? I have.
Or something else.
Yeah, I've swung an axe, and it's been. I hear you. I'm not ashamed, but I don't want to like cut my arm off. Swinging an axe without proper protective gear, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so it's something that you need to be intentional for. Like a lot of people will stumble into a career that they hate, and that's what happens if you're not actually intentional early on in life to find something that you're passionate about that you can see yourself doing for a long time. So Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about leveling up and like what skills you should be focusing on. The biggest thing is managing your income and learning how to budget. Living on less than you make. Like, this is something that is not revolutionary, but like in our culture it's so hard to do because every advertisement you see is something pining for your money. You know, I've never had a credit card, and this week I got 2 things in the mail for credit cards. Like, I'm constantly being sold debt, constantly being sold all this stuff. And it's so easy to not budget, to not actually be intentional with your money. But your biggest wealth building tool is actually your income. Like, you can be a brilliant investor, but if you never actually put money aside and save it to invest, you can be the best investor in the world, if you have no money to start with, you're never going to make any money.
Yeah. I don't know the full science behind it, but the dual income family kind of ruined what used to be able to do with one income, but also credit cards. The American dream of buy now, pay later, I think it's destroyed generations of humans, of Americans, and globally, but specifically Americans since we live here. You see it all the time. Debt kills more than anything else as far as futures go. And once you're in it, it's hard to get out. Like, I'm sure as people listen to this, you're deep in debt. And I'm sure you would love to get out of it, but it takes years.
Yeah.
And like, it's tough. So my heart goes out to anyone. I was in debt for a brief season, but we dug out so hard. Luckily, we had a lot. We were just improperly spending it. With some folks, it's like you're just trapped in a tiny box.
It keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it just keeps squeezing you. Because that's what interest does.
Yeah.
Interest is either making you richer or enslaving you. Tough.
Yeah. And if any of you out there, you're hearing this and you're like, man, I wish I could do that, reach out to me. Like this, I'm super passionate about this. I want to help you get there. But it's not easy, and it's a mindset shift, because what every company wants to do is they want to sell you something on a payment. They want to say you like, okay, maybe you can't afford this thing, but you can afford a payment. Like, it's happening right now with like Klarna and all the buy now, pay laters. Like, I was watching a video on this on YouTube the other day. Like, the actual interest rate on average for these things was 176% is the average interest you're paying on like a buy now, pay later thing. Because like, if you're shopping, and the guy explained it brilliantly, is like, if you're shopping for something that's $100, like, even if you're paying with like a credit card or something, that's still $100, and you're like, ooh, that's a lot of money. But if it's 5 easy payments of only $20, yeah, I think I can swing that. And they're trying to get you to think about this in like much smaller than it actually is. And they're banking on, even if you like don't actually miss any payments, you're still paying the full $100. Like, you're still spending more money than you wanted to. You're just spreading it out more. And then you do that over here on this shirt. You do it over here on this burrito from Chipotle that costs $18,000. And then you do it over here. You buy a new monitor for your setup. And like, all of a sudden you have all these payments, and all of a sudden everyone has a name on your money except for you. And it just enslaves you, it entraps you. And unless you are really intentional about getting free, most people live their entire lives like this.
We are in microtransaction hell.
Oh gosh.
If you're financing your lunch, I feel so bad. You're so getting hoodwinked.
Yeah.
And this is a knock, not against Chipotle. Well, maybe that they're letting it happen. I'm not sure who's letting it happen. But do not finance the purchase of your burritos.
Yeah.
If you can't pay now, don't pay later.
Yeah.
Just walk away. Just starve. We're Americans. We all could skip a meal.
It's true. It's true. But it's a mindset shift. You need to actually think about things from not just like, okay, can I afford this payment, to, is it in my budget? And sometimes the budget says no. And you have to learn to be okay with that. Like, and this is, you know, a little more on the philosophical thing, but like, there's always going to be another thing. Like, this is something I was talking with someone about, and they're like, man, I can't wait until I'm making X amount of dollars, then I'm not going to have to deal with any of this. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like there's always, once you hit that thing, there's always something to chase. And then there's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Ultimate, and I didn't necessarily think I was going to go all Bible on this, but like ultimately it's learning contentment. What can only come through a true relationship with Jesus. Like if you are just continuing to strive for that next thing in your career, that next thing to buy, like that is something that's just going to lead you down an endless road of pursuing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it's a terrible, empty way to live. And if you are a Christian and like that's the mindset you've fallen into, like I get it, like it's easy to get there, but it's something you legitimately need to change. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, and you talk about how there's always something. I can't do it because of where I live, but I'm glad I can't do it because it would break me eventually. I would really love a Lamborghini. I would really love a Lamborghini, but as you drove to my house, you could see why it would be quite possibly the dumbest purchase.
Yeah.
That Lamborghini would be able to leave twice before it's in the shop.
Getting towed.
Yeah, but I would love it. But I think a Lamborghini would break me eventually because of all the cost of maintenance.
Yeah.
I think you pay around $3,000 to $5,000 per oil change.
Oh.
Like, you know, the tires themselves
gosh,
can
yeah.
only go like 2,000 miles before you have to change it.
That's crazy.
I'm inherently cheap, but deep down, you say if for some reason I get even more money than I have today, right now, good, no Lamborghini. But if for some reason even more money comes in, that Lambo's right there. So, and it shouldn't be. We should be content.
Yeah.
Should be happy.
Yeah. It's a mindset shift because that's contrary to something everyone in our culture believes.
Mm-hmm.
But so once you learn how to budget and how to get out of debt, next thing to do is you need to start investing. We've done a couple whole episodes on this, but if you are under 25 and you have 40 years to invest, you will be a millionaire. I wish you could be a billionaire.
$1 billion.
It's not quite that easy. But if you are under 25 and are debt-free and can invest, if you're not a millionaire, shame on you. If you are under 25 and do not aren't investing, shame on you because you are robbing your future self of millions of dollars. And it's important to learn how to invest wisely and invest for the future, because if you do that now, oh my gosh, only like a couple $100s a month and you have millions upon millions of dollars. If you do that in a Roth IRA or Roth 401k, you pay no taxes on any of that money, and then you can give all of that money away, whether it's to support your family, to support things for the kingdom. It just provides you it's so little cost today for so much benefit in the future.
I think money makes you not poor. Time makes you rich.
Yeah, that's good.
That'll be my new future. I don't know if anyone said that. That's mine. That's mine.
Opus, listen.
Yeah. Money makes you not poor. Time makes you rich. Makes you $1 billion, according to what
I did not say that. I said it, but I did not mean it.
Millions. Which is still relevant today. Millions is... Most people would be very happy to have $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
And you can do it if you start young versus at 44.
Just for the sake of doing this live on air, keep talking. I'm going to pull out a calculator.
You know, and while you're pulling calculator, you know what I forgot is I'm supposed to buy a stock every episode.
Oh, yeah.
So this won't happen live on air because I have no computer in front of me. Mm-hmm. But the conclusion of this episode, I'm going to buy 2 stocks and we'll figure out which ones. It doesn't really matter. And just a secret to you, I am betting on time making me rich, not on our ability to choose the right stock.
Yeah.
So as you watch these episodes, this is not stock picker episode number 44. It's more about time episode number whatever. And I just want to show you, the viewers, that I'm buying something today that in theory, a year from now or longer, which I'm totally comfortable holding longer, will make even more money.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, but I have no idea. Maybe by the end of the episode, you can recommend some new stock to buy before this episode ends, and name 2. I'll buy one from the last episode we just recorded,
okay,
and the one today, and I'll go to my computer. Although I didn't realize, I think the stock market will close before I get to my
It's
PC.
closed currently.
It's already closed?
Yeah, it's already closed.
Is it 4? Oh, it's already 4?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, tomorrow, I'm going to buy 2 stocks as soon as it opens in the morning.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, so just listening at home, if you are 25 or younger, I'm just going to say for 40 years, 25 to 65, you put aside you have literally not a penny to your name investing wise. If you put $250 a month, think about how much you think that probably is. But that in 40 years would be $1.5 million. Putting $250 a month away.
Is that $3,000 a year?
Yeah. Yes. $3,000 a year.
Although it's better to do it monthly. I think what you're saying.
It is absolutely better to do it monthly because your dollar cost averaging over the cost of the year. And if you're budgeting, you should be budgeting monthly because you get X amount of paychecks usually. Some people like to do weekly, but I find that a little bit annoying to have to do a whole new budget every single week. I like to do a monthly budget. But yeah, if you're able to put $250 away every single month, that's $1.5 million. And I mean, like, shoot, even if you're only able to start with $100, if you put $100 away for the rest, $100 a month for 40 years, that is $600,000. So like, even if you're just starting now, and that's assuming like you never increase it for the rest of your life. Like, if you just start now, like even if it's $10 a month, $50 a month, just unless you're in debt, unless you're in deep credit card debt, that's the caveat. But learn to live on less than you make and actually start investing because it pays off big time in the long run.
40 years from now, it's 2026. In 40 years from now, I firmly believe $1.5 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
It won't be as lot of money as it is today, but it'll still be a lot of money. I guarantee you, even then, you will be so happy.
Yeah.
If you have $1.5 million.
And also, that was me. I only did 10% interest. Like you can, averaging 10%, you can do a lot better than that. If you did like 12%, you're probably looking at like 2.3 instead of 1.5, something like that.
Yeah.
So if you invest well, it's a big thing. But a lot of people want to skip right to investing, but you have to build up that discipline of budgeting first because like the reality is contentment and discipline is the biggest thing that's going to set you apart. Because there's a couple other things we're going to talk about getting into the specifics of the budget next, but it's really, really important. And if you can get that now, especially if you can get this before you get married, that's going to serve you very, very well.
I'm going to send a message to the future me 40 years from now. You know you have how much money you have right now. You better have crazy amounts when you're 40 years from now. Or you gave it all the way to charity. One of the two, but you have only 2 options. You gave it all the way to charity, or like it's some crazy astronomical number that you and I only know it could be in 40 years. So you better do it, future me. I'm going to watch this or be dead.
Yeah. So let's get into like what a budget actually looks like. What like your loadout for your budget is actually going to look like. So there's a couple things that like even super simple. There's just high level things you should be budgeting. First thing, even if you're not a Christian, you should be tithing or at least giving some money away. This is something I've seen a lot of people fall into the trap of, oh, I'll give money away when I get to X. I promise you, if that's where you think, you're never going to get there. Like, if you can't give away some money when you have a little bit, when you have a lot, you're still never going to be able to give money away. Like, this is one of the reasons tithing is not only just like because the Bible says so, but like it's a really good practice to have in your life to learn how to bless others, give generously. And for me, when I'm doing my budget, the first thing I always do is I look at what my income is going to be for the next month because my income changes every month. And the first thing I do is I set up my tithe. The first thing, and then I give more money additionally to that. But that's the first thing I do with my money. And it's a way to honor God because, we are, Romans and I are both Christians. And tithing, giving, demonstrates your faith in the Lord, who is going to be the one who ultimately is your end provider for everything. If you can't do that now, if you can't have some way to be generous, that it's not going to just change when you're managing, $100,000 versus $10,000 or $5,000, $2,000. Like that doesn't just change because the number changed. If you're selfish with $2,000, you'll be selfish with $2 million.
Yep. I will say that being at 44 years old, I can actually say, I'm not a prosperity guy, but you can't outgive God.
Yeah.
That being a cheerful giver, giving from a place where you're appreciative of what God has done, and that it gives you joy to give, it is surprising. I did something very generous not too long ago. Won't talk about it because that's terrible to talk about this specific thing. But I'll tell you, it was days later that somehow the money came back.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, it's just one of those moments where you just want to bless somebody.
Yeah.
And then God says, good job, here. I'm like, what? I just gave that away. And then it makes you give crazy thought, maybe I should give this away too. But then I feel like you're doing that to spite God. I don't know. Check your heart before you start doing stuff like that, because at some point, are you testing God? Mm-hmm. And God only says it once, maybe twice in the Bible. He's not really, God isn't like a fan of always being tested every second, every chance you get. But that just happened recently.
Yeah.
Like God is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy good. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Like he just like you do something sacrificially, and to be so quickly thanked by God, it's amazing. It's like, oh, yeah. Because it hurt. When I did it, I was like, oh, that was more than I thought.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna say no to God. But anyways, go Jesus, go God.
And I also not a fan of the prosperity gospel and everything, but like it is so true. Like whenever I have stretched myself to be generous, it's not always right away, but like eventually somehow the Lord makes it work. And that just comes from an understanding of where your provision actually comes from. Like and at the end of the day, this episode is pointless if you don't actually recognize where your end provision is going to come from. And it comes from God. Like God is the one who gives us the ability to create wealth. And the reason he gives us wealth is so that we can work with him and participate in being the blessing of God to others. Like God doesn't make us wealthy for the sake of being able to say, I'm rich. Like the reason we are wealthy is so that we can be a blessing and pour out into other people.
Amen.
All that from one line item of charity. But yeah, so that's the first thing you should be doing in your budget. I firmly believe that. Then go through your essentials of rent, food, bills. I've put a budgeting template out there that has like an example budget. I can make sure to link it to this episode. But like it's free. It's really easy to use. But knock out all your essentials, food, groceries, rent, all that. And then start, if you're in debt, put as much money to getting out of credit card debt as you can, because that is the worst, by far the worst kind of debt. My goodness, you're talking like 27% interest on some of these credit cards these days. Then when you get out of debt, you can start investing in the future. If you have a family, girl dads especially, if you were not saving for your daughter's wedding, start now, because those are expensive, man.
You can always teach your daughter how to have a small wedding. Good luck with that.
Yeah, convince your, daughter.
I want a pony and a unicorn. You want a rhinoceros?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But invest in your future, save for the future, and then have fun. Like, you one thing I tell people when they're first learning how to budget is if you build a no fun budget, you can do that for a couple months. But if you try to live for like more than 2 or 3 months on a no fun budget, you will fail. And you probably will fail bigly. So incorporate some fun, like have a gaming budget, have a going out to eat budget, and then don't go crazy. Like don't, if you're investing $100 a month, don't put $300 in your, fun gaming budget, but like be reasonable, have some money so that you can go have fun with your friends, online, in person, whatever. So having that as a part of your budget is really important.
I'll say the other part that we don't really say too often is insurance. Is that even though you want to be super aggressive, dig yourself out of debt, But I'll tell you, not having insurance and one major medical blow, even in your 20s, your immortal 20s. In my 40s, I'm telling you, I've been in the hospital so far 2 years in a row. If I go to the hospital in 2027, I'm going to lose my mind. Because I have the cheapest insurance I've ever had in my life. Thanks, Obama. Actual joke, or actual serious comment there. Because I'm telling you, I had such Cadillac insurance before. Anyways, another comment. But have insurance, because all it takes is one bad hospital visit or a car accident, and you'll get wiped for years.
Yeah.
One car accident can set you back 30 to 50,000 if you hit somebody. And you can be in the hospital, it can be 10 to 20,000 unless it's a quick outpatient visit. Or you can have insurance that you would probably pay 2 to 3,000 up front, but you'd probably pay your copay and you'd still be out under 4,000. So risk spending 4,000 a year or get hammered and lose 30,000, and it's just such a big blow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's really good. Insurance is important. And also another thing, this is something that I'm really passionate about because my dad died when my mom was 7 months pregnant with me, and he had started doing life insurance and just was never finished it. So they had a policy almost ready in place, didn't finish it. If you are married, you have someone who depends on you, get life insurance. It's so unbelievably cheap. Like term life insurance, I promise you it's cheaper than you expect it is. And it is something that will really bring a lot of peace to your family if something were to happen. So if you have someone that depends on you, make sure you get life insurance. If you hear nothing else from this episode, get life insurance today if you don't have it.
especially if you're in your 20s. It is so dirt cheap.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So dirt cheap. In your 40s, it's not so cheap. Not so cheap. So if you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s, very smart, very good deal. In your 40s, just don't die. Just don't die.
Easy. Yeah, it's really important. So once you kind of have gotten okay, you're used to the budget, these are some things that we would recommend to start doing to be kind of like a catalyst for this. First thing is once you've gotten out of debt, have started investing, automate it. Have it automatically come out of your bank at a certain day of the month so that you don't have to think about it. Automate the investments, comes out of your bank account, goes to your financial advisor, goes to your auto setup, like buy these 3 ETFs, and that way you don't have to think about it. And it's funny, my best clients, I had a review with a client where they didn't even realize their account was up like 40%. And they were like, oh, great, I haven't looked at it in like 3 months. And if you're have everything automated and don't look at it and just let it do its thing, it's like magic. You wait a year and your account is up 10% magically. You did nothing except just have automatic deposits go into your account, and boom, there you go, automatic.
Power of time makes you money.
Absolutely. I think this is something that is a little, it can be difficult depending on what trade you get into, what your job is. Learning how to find ways to increase your income, bring a little bit more money in as you're learning how to save and stuff, especially if you're on the creative entrepreneur. If you are a business, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's just kind of the reality of being in a business. So look for ways to increase your income rather than just trying to cut expenses, because especially, man, as your family grows, so do your expenses. And whether you like it or not, there's only so much expenses you can cut for kids.
I was so happy when the kids got out of diapers. Like there's this lull. You're burning cash when they're in their diapers, and then you save a ton of money, and then they become teenagers. And then the amount of stuff they need as teenagers is like, go back to the diapers. I miss the days of diapers. Because diapers are the only thing that you're cutting me. Now you're cutting me 6 different ways. I need a car. I need a phone. I need expensive clothes with name brands on it. I'm like, you're getting the Costco special.
Costco's great.
I'll sew in Supreme on it. Or I'll sew in a Balenciaga logo on there. But you're wearing Costco pants. And that's why my kids don't let me shop for them. But
There you go. And this is something that gets everybody, it's even gotten me at times, is lifestyle creep. Like this is something that affects everybody. If you're working and you get your lifestyle raise, that doesn't mean you just get to increase everything else in your budget 5%. Like it's really easy that as your income goes up, you just increase everything else. Like, try to build in that margin to like when life continues to go, you get raises, you increase your income. Try to live on what you currently made. Like I know of a family where they got married and they decided to still live like they only had one income and just invested the rest because they knew that she was going to be a stay-at-home mom. So they just invested and saved her entire income and were able to build up a ton of money, and they just lived off of his salary. And then by the time that they had kids and she, retired to be a stay-at-home mom, they had made a huge dent, and they didn't have to like make up this big lifestyle cut when she retired. Like, they were able to manage that and build up a huge amount of savings and investing and really set themselves up for success.
Or, just marry rich. If you're in college right now, there is a hot girl if you're a guy, or a hot guy if you're a girl, that is super loaded. And it's your job to find out who it is and have them love you. Just kidding. Not really.
Roman said it. I do not endorse this message. I do not endorse this message.
Marry for money, not love.
That's not in the show doc. That is not in the show doc.
You know what makes you rich? Rich people.
Okay. Moving on. We already talked a little bit about debt, but there's like some bosses of this thing that you need to be aware of. Get debt out of your life as soon as possible. That is the biggest obstacle for you being successful. Something we talked about lifestyle creep already, but like legitimately that is one of the big bosses of, your journey. Another thing is taxes. Like, it's really not fun to have to deal with taxes, especially though if you're a business owner, you can get in so much trouble with taxes. Like, and especially if you're something that needs to pay quarterly estimates, my goodness, the IRA loves slapping you with those payment penalties if you don't pay your What did I say?
IRA.
Oh, IRS. Same thing. Yeah, not same thing. But the IRS loves to penalize you on like small little things. Like, it is brutal. So, it's not fun to deal with, but make sure you either have a CPA or you understand how taxes affect you specifically. If you have kids, congratulations, you have joined the money-making scheme that is called having a family in the eyes of the IRS. But like, you need to understand it, because if you don't, you can get in a lot of trouble. And if you piss off the IRS, they are the only people that can actually take your salary before it goes to you. So make sure you understand your taxes, because it's bad.
I gotta say, the IRS does scare me. Even as someone who knows how to deal with them, their letters are so scary.
Mm-hmm.
They must send some of the scariest letters a non-tax person. They must scare, like, as much as they mostly annoy me when I get it these days. But I imagine I see it in the hands, and I see people contact me. Oh my God, I got this letter, and literally it's just an address change form. just so you know, we noticed a change in address. We updated it for you. But like, people just freak out. Yeah, don't be in tax trouble. IRS is tough to deal with.
Yeah.
They're just so slow and antiquated. As Scruffy would say, which is who I am right now, the IRS is tough to deal with. It's so tough.
No, I agree with that. So that can have come from Scruffy.
Yeah, sure. I also hate you.
I didn't say that. I don't hate the IRS. Just don't want to have to deal with them. Just keep them happy, and you never have to deal with them. That's what I advise.
That's the mafia also works. You could also say that about the mafia.
I'm not saying the IRS is the mafia.
I don't know.
But yeah. So, and then the last thing that's like one of the big bosses to look out for is honestly just laziness. Like, the reality of this is this is not like the super sexy way to be a millionaire by age 30. Like, some people can do it. It requires an insane amount of work and an insane amount of luck to be able to get that. But slow and steady wins the race. Like, living a disciplined, boring lifestyle of living on less than you make, investing consistently, and being diligent with what you're giving, being diligent with your career, that is what is going to make you financially successful. And I'll tell you right now, like, don't feel bad that you didn't get it until now. Start now. Like, now is the best time to start. I don't care what age you are. Now is the best time to start. Start now. And you will be able to make progress. If you're older, it will require more work, but you can do it. If you are willing to put in the work, to sacrifice, it's not easy. I can't promise you it's going to be easy because it's not. I'd be lying to you if I did. But with a little bit of discipline and a lot of hard work, you can make it.
Quick origin story. You know, I'm a second-generation immigrant. Came to America with the shirt on my mom's back and lived a below middle income family. Not 8 Mile. We're not like Eminem 8 Mile, but it was well above 8 Mile and below middle class. And yeah, I don't think I made it until the age of 32. Whatever you want to define as making it, I felt financially secure at 32. So it took me from 0 to 32, and I wasn't really trying until I was 20. So I might
12
be
years.
Took 12 years of focus and effort. And by goodness, good luck editor editing this because we are so bright right now. The sun is like end episode. So let's I think we have to wrap this up because I'm pretty sure right now we are the darkness.
All right. This is it. Yeah. So to wrap it up, find something you love doing, work hard at it, build your income, build discipline, invest for the future. And yeah, slow and steady wins the race. It's not sexy, but you can do it. And if you need any help, reach out to me. Shoot me a DM. Hop in the Discord. Let Golden Loot Stat chat. Like, I'm here to help. In fact, I think this Friday, well, this won't be this episode, but one of the Fridays coming up, I have open office hours. Anyone can come into Discord and ask me questions. Like, I want to help you get there. I can't promise you it's going to be easy, but I can promise if you're willing to put in the work, you can get there.
It'll be the first Friday of the month that you have office hours.
Yeah.
Although because of Easter week, not this Friday.
Great.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. We didn't talk about that.
Okay, so, it's Easter week, so people are all about Easter.
Yeah. So it's good. But you can do it. Come say hi. And this has been Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.